Greetings, welcome back to my channel. So one of my favorite channels to follow is Techie City. It's a dude from Australia. Especially his parts hunt videos are fun. But his PC building videos are a bit different. And especially in his most recent video, like you see in front of you, he built this PC and he was praising of it, how it looked amazingly and all that stuff. Well, I hated to break it down to you, Techie City, but it doesn't. It looks utterly rushed and it's pretty much all over the place. First, the liquid cooler. It can be made a lot more nicer regarding the hoses, so that they look more freely and not like they shoved in there. That's the first thing. Second thing are the cables, the PSU cables, the USB cables. It's a mess, especially in an NZXT case. That's unacceptable. They are very visible. They are not routed neatly, they routed rushed. The same applies for the GPU cable. It's impossible to say that this looks even slightly decent or pleasing to the eye, because it doesn't, especially in a case with such a big tempered glass window. And then the LED strip, which you praised to death. Sorry dude, but no, absolutely not. This case probably has channels to hide this strip away, so you only will be able to see the light, not the strip itself. Because what you did, you just thrown it in there. It's painful to look at it. Also, different type of fans, especially like this one on the front. No man, it doesn't look good. It looks utterly rushed, like you want to get rid of it as quick as possible, and you hope that more simpler people will admire it, but it simply can't. And I'm speaking from experience. I want to show you the first PC I ever built, and it was just about a year ago. My very first one. I didn't had any tries before that, but let me show it to you. I will remove the door, of course. It's a Fractal Design Focus G case. Dude, sleeve cables are dirt cheap on AliExpress, where you order many parts from. Order several sets to use it in your builds. That makes a heap of difference. Just look at those. The same applies for the GPU. Nice sleeved cable with a bit of color in it. Makes case look completely different. Here's an example. Here's an LED strip. It's one from by Cooler Master, and it's not an RGB one, because this is not an RGB fitted PC. It's only LED. All the fans are blue, and also the LED strip is blue. It's just placed there. The cable is pretty much invisible, and it does an amazing job. And if you are working in old cases, like I saw many times in your videos, and you don't have a PSU shroud, but there is a place for one, for example, How about do what I did? I went to a metal shop. I made the dimensions before. I went there, and I simply picked up a piece of aluminium, and they bent it for me. It probably cost me just over a tenner in euros to get PSU shroud like this, custom PSU shroud for a case it doesn't have one. I actually made a hole on the top just so that I don't have to do annoying routing for the GPU power cable, and I wrapped it in a matte carbon fiber wrap. It covers the PSU in all its cables, and it makes everything neat, clean, and it even hides pretty much all the front panel connector cables, the USB cable, etc. So pretty much no cables, and it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. So this is the very first build about a year ago. It has i5 6500, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, Corsair LPX. It has a GTX 1050 Ti, and it has an EVGA Supernova GS 550, fully modular. And that's about it. It's neat, it's clean, it doesn't cost a lot. So when you praise this as looking beautiful, I cannot stay silent, man. It's not. It's not really rushed, and it really doesn't look like you paid a lot of attention to it. For example, if you don't want to get sleeved cables, but to route the stock cables much better, that they still look much neater, you can buy motherboard cable routers, GPU cable routers that cost pennies on AliExpress. And what I mean is the things like this. This is a 90-degree bend for the PCI cables for the GPU. Like, for example, you can plug this in right here, and you can route the stock PSU cable in a nice straight line all the way to the back. So my advice is, please invest in those parts. And one extra thing, because I saw that many times, when you use TFX power supplies, you pretty much create a ghetto style bracket to hold it in. Dude, I think you earn enough to get yourself a budget 3D printer at least. On Thingiverse, you have all tons of designs for custom custom brackets for all size of power supply units, and especially TFX. I actually checked. So get a 3D printer, print a couple of those out, and use it. It's much neater for the customer to look at, because especially in those bare bones cases where they don't have any panels. So just a tip. And FYI, this is my newest build. It's my first ever AMD Ryzen. So this was my video, and just a bit of critique, because when I saw this I could not agree with you are praising it. Well, thank you for watching. Until the next time.